What's up, everybody? This Presto checking in, Trauma Talk Podcast. Today we got a very special guest. You want to introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Markia. Hello to everyone.
What's up, Markia? How you feeling?
I'm good.
That's good. We just had a real generic conversation. I didn't even know we were recording, so we're going to kick it off like this. Before we get started, just want to introduce myself. I'm Presto, Executive Director of Project Purpose. I got to give a shout out to my partner, Billy. He out of town right now. We still holding it down, man. Great podcast session coming. Also want to shout out to VOS, Voice of the Struggle. New gear just dropped, man. You know, it's real good. It's fall season, so check that out. We're going to drop the link for that. Markia, I've been just kicking it over the last, I've known you for a long time.
Yeah.
So before we dive into why we're here today, I guess, see how you're doing today, and maybe you tell a little bit of your story, some of the things you've been through over the last couple of years, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Well, I'm doing good today. My story is that I lost my husband in August 5th of 2023 to gun violence. And we was together for 10 years, and it really, tore me apart. It's been a journey through grieving, healing, a journey with everything, because it's like life-changing. Everything changed for me in an instant. It's like when I lost my husband, I experienced a lot of death after that. Like that one death caused relationships. It caused everything. Like the world just changed for me. But I have been managing to get through it because I know he would want me to get through it. I know he would want me to be strong. And just to help somebody else, for somebody else's story, because everybody don't make it out. Everybody don't know what to do. Everybody can't hold it down or don't even know where to start, don't have the resources to start. So for one, I'm going to say I'm thankful for the resources I do have, especially Project Purpose resources and the healing group. It has tremendously helped me, because I get to speak. I feel like since this incident happened with my husband, I'm not heard, I'm forgot about, my kids not heard, we forgot about. So I use that platform to speak, to heal, to hear. For people can hear me, they can understand me. I can hear other people experiences. It's just it's like a connection that only people with trauma will understand because we're being heard. Like people are listening to us. We're not being judgmental. We could just let it out and be free and have that moment and that time to be free. So that has really helped me get through a lot of times. And surprisingly, I look forward to that group. I look forward to more. I did my own therapy, through the Journey Project, which that was that was good too. But with this, it's people I know. It's people that know my husband. It's people that know me. Some may or may not, know us or too well. But I'm comfortable in it. I'm comfortable in it, and I really appreciate it because it really helped. Cause I'm telling you, it's like a journey, even within myself. Cause losing my husband, it's like I gotta find myself all over, because I don't have that. I will never be who I was. So I will never have that same life. So everything is changing, and I'm trying to just take it one day at a time, one step at a time, and just be strong and be the woman he would know I would be. Make sure I take care of my kids. Don't look back no matter what. Do what's best for me. Be happy. And just keep going.
Definitely. And that's why I ultimately wanted you to come on as a guest. Obviously, I'm a good friend of your husband's and you. Known y'all for years. And I admire your strength and your journey. I watch how your children are smiling, how they are happy. And I know they have their moments. I'm sure we'll talk about that. And that's basically today's topic is turning the page. Because, we all have our trauma and yours, I still send the deepest condolences to you and your family. And like you said, there's things that have helped you, right?
Right.
And I wanna read something out of this book. This is a great book, by the way. My amazing fiance got me this. It's called Break the Cycle, and it's a guide to healing. And I just wanted to read something out of it that kind of addresses from different perspectives outside of what we know. And I just want to read this quote. When a physical body wound is left unhealed, it continues to cause pain and becomes vulnerable to infection. That infection and pain can spread to other parts of your body. Something similar happens with emotions. Negative emotions hurt us deeply when they are left unhealed. They have the power to contaminate every other part of our body and lives, making it feel at times unbearable to live. But unlike physical wounds, emotional wounds can reach beyond the person who is hurt and have the capacity to hurt others, like family members, significant others, friends, children, so on. For this reason, unhealed emotional wounds have the devastating effects on our entire lives and our communities. And I wanted to read that because, like you said, we've been through a lot. I want to talk about the things that did help you, right? Because, like I said, untreated trauma, it can devastate a community. We come from the same neighborhood, so we know that this neighborhood is knee deep in trauma, neck deep in trauma and pain. And I really want us to learn to turn the page. And you being the person you are and having the reputation you have in the community, I think it speaks volumes to have you on here to help talk about some of those techniques and things that you've done. You talked about the healing group, and I appreciate that because that's why we designed the group. So that people that know each other can come on there and heal and feel comfortable like everybody on there, people you've been dealing with. It feels natural. So I'm glad that that's helped you. What are some other things, and I know you've had some nights that probably you don't even want to speak on, but what are some other things that you do with yourself that like get you through a hard time?
Number one, which I should have said first, I put God first. I keep my faith and I pray.
Definitely.
So during hard times, I allow myself to have those moments because I allow myself to have those moments because I don't want to become that moment. I don't want that moment to become me and take control. And that's when it leads to like other things that's not healthy or not good. So I allow myself to have that moment.
Yeah.
I pray and I get out of that moment. I don't stay in that moment. And I just pick myself up because at the end of the day, that's what you got to do. Like, it's not you can't change the unchangeable. So me just getting stuck in grief is not going to bring him back. I still got to move forward for my children. I got to move forward for myself, for the future that he wanted us to have, that I'm continuing on for him. So it's like I can't do those things if I'm broken. So I allow myself to have those moments. I pray and I get out of those moments. I give myself self-care sometimes. I may have those moments where I turn off my phone. I don't want to talk to nobody. I just give myself some time to myself. I set boundaries because sometimes people forget boundaries. So I set boundaries whereas though in this process, I make sure that I'm okay. I'm not allowing negative. I'm not allowing nobody to hinder me or have me stuck in that grief.
Right. And so what does that look like when you say, I'm not going to allow somebody to hinder me or have me stuck in the grief? Can you give me an example of that? Of that?
Stuck in the grief, I would say when, like, people can't always, like, make the moment sad. Like, it always got to be about the death of my husband.
Right.
It don't always have to be about the death of him. It can be about the life of him or what he had left to continue on, you know, what he wanted. And it's like some people use that weak moment to try to either tear you down more or they see you not being stuck in your grief and they don't like that because they may not how to get out of their grief. Right. So they try to keep you in your grief and it's just like a war.
Right.
Like I feel like I've been in a war. I feel like, man, like I'd have been through so much. And I be like, damn, I just got to keep my faith and keep going. Because at the end of the day, I'm the only person to fall back on. I'm the only person my kids can fall back on. So I don't have an option.
Yeah.
Some people may have options where they could just not do stuff. Like I worked too hard. My husband worked too hard. We came too far to just let everything go. Right. So I know that I can't do that. Like I can't get stuck in my grief or not getting up. Don't get me wrong. It's days where I sit in my bathroom and I will shut the door and I will cry my heart out because it's overwhelming. Like it be a lot. But again, I come out of that moment. I'm not going to get stuck in that moment. But it's not like a lot of people see like social media and stuff and see you smiling and keep going or think that like we don't need that support because oh she got this, she's strong, and it's like that's not true. But my trauma has made me strong, and not getting that support has made me stand for myself.
Right.
Like it just made me stand for myself and like to be by myself, which my husband already taught me that like the love he gave me, I wouldn't even have to worry about myself. And the trauma just sucks because I've been through so much hurt that I'm numb
Yeah.
to situations. I'm numb to relationships. I'm numb to like other people's trauma. And that's just the effect that trauma puts on people. Like it, and it shouldn't be that way. It's not fair, but it's like you don't get out of your trauma because it's like you deal with death, you deal with this, you deal with this, you deal with this. You may have another friend who died, another trauma. So it's like a constant battle of trauma.
So having those techniques, like even what you said, like sometimes I'll just go in the bathroom and cry. That's a way. You would say like I feel better. You mentioned the healing groups, which I want to touch on a little bit, and more so not the healing group specifically, but what it is like. Do you feel like having that support system, like do you think identifying people that you can talk to is important?
Yeah, it really is. Like finding a small group of people because you won't hold that in.
Right.
Hold that in. That's what I mean by you'll get stuck in your grief because you're not allowed to like express yourself or bring that out. It changed everything.
Yeah.
So having just that support is actually having that ear. A lot of people, we have conversations. Nobody hear us to listen. They hear us to respond. So it's like we get heard. We can say how we feel without being judged, without being nothing. It don't like it could just be a bad day, and it's somebody there to listen, and it's somebody always there to like share their experience to help like how they went through it. So now you feel comfortable because these people can relate. They're not going to judge you. They're going to relate. They're going to tell you their experience, and they like no, it's not like a psychology or therapist, but it's like it's a safe space where it's comfortable people, and you know that in that group we have gained like trust with like we can say whatever and it stay between us like and we find ways to work it out.
Definitely. So I want to also just having a conversation, like, because it's a complicated topic, right? Trauma, especially when it relates to our personal lives and our need and our community. Like when you mention like other people, like not almost like dragging you down because of how you are resilient and pushing through. What do you think? And this is just a conversation. It doesn't have to be a straightforward answer. But what do you think are some ways that we can address that or help those individuals? Because we know ourselves, right? We know our circles and our networks that we have, and I feel like there's other people that get left out of those discussions. Like, what do you think we can do to help those individuals? Or
Be the voice.
yeah,
Be the voice. Be the change. Offer them like talk to them and. That's it. Like you can be the voice and provide the resources because like this all start with love. Like if people would love more, a lot of stuff wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, parents and everything failed them. Like somewhere in their life it went wrong where they didn't get enough love. So they honestly like they look at the community as love. And I get it though.
Yeah, me too.
And it's understandable because like it's weird because you get love from the community or you think that you got love. You build bonds, you build relationships, you build like things where people like, oh, this my man. Like we know each other. We grew up with each other versus like at home, it may be like something that's not right in the house where you're not getting that love or you're not getting that attention. So we come outside to the community and get that love. Sometimes it could just be showing the wrong way. We may make the wrong choices with each other, but it's just that connection you feel with that person that like you getting that love, you getting that attention that you're not getting at home.
Nah, I agree 100%. I mean, that's how it is. Like you go outside, you get the love. It's real love too. It's genuine. Like you said, you go through stuff with people. Y'all done been down together, up together, and sometimes it don't always be the most healthy actions taking place, but there is so much love, and I think that's a big misconception with our neighborhoods that we try to advocate for on our level all the time. Like, it's a lot of love here, a lot of love. Like, that's where you go. I remember when I lost a job and lost everything, like, that neighborhood was there. Them people were there, like, to pick you back up, which I'm grateful for. And I feel like that's why I always try my best to reach back, even though I don't live there, or, I feel you on that. There's a lot of love. And so I'm going to read like some other little tips, things that I've just been reading in this book about just more tools for the toolbox, essentially. And it says being aware of what your dreams are showing you, taking heed to your dreams, which is an interesting thing, because I think our dreams are definitely a dig into the depths of our subconsciousness. You know what I'm saying?
And dreams are real. I'm gonna tell you something that I only share like with a few people. I had a dream 3 days before, and I can't believe I'm sharing this, but it's okay. Mm-hmm. I had a dream 3 days, about 3 to 4 days before my husband passed. And in my dream, everybody know like I'm a religious person, but in my dream, there was this man, and I loved this man so much in my dream. And that man faded away, like in my dream. And I struggled for a couple of days. Like I even told him, I'm like, I had a dream. I'm like, and I can feel the love. I never felt a feeling in my dream.
Yeah.
I felt the love in my dream so much. Like, it was an unexplainable feeling, but it had faded away. I could never see a face. I could never hear a voice, but I knew that man loved me.
Yeah.
My first initial thought was, I'm like, man, my husband good. Like, we great. Like, it's something wrong.
Yeah.
Not knowing that God was showing me in my dream, he was preparing me for what's about to happen.
Yeah.
So when he passed, I was so angry with God. Like, I was so angry. Like, I questioned him. I'm like, I do everything right. I help people. I do so much right. Why didn't you, where did I go wrong? Mm-hmm. So once I sat in it, and I'm like, God, he told me that he showed me. I showed you, and I prepared you. But in my mind, I didn't know what was going on because it was a dream. I was so conflicted in my dream because I'm like, how can I love another man? And how can I feel that way in my dream? And then it all, like, he faded away. When that man faded away, it was no face, it was no voice. I just felt the love. And I told my pastor, I'm like, and I told one of my sisters, I said, I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how, like, you do have dreams. And sometimes dreams show you stuff. And we just don't know how to, like, take heed to it.
Yeah. And that's it's interesting you shared that, and I appreciate you sharing that. Because that's a perspective I never even thought to pay attention to. From a religious aspect, from a subconscious aspect, whatever angle you want to play it, I think that paying attention to dreams is very revealing. Because there could be something inside of us that's like that we're not addressing, that we know is there, like a reality or something that may be on the horizon. I do believe that God could communicate with us through dreams, and it's in this book. It's just all great information. Another thing too is we can heal from getting out in nature. I don't know how you feel about that. Me personally, I went on a walk with my fiance a few weeks ago. We were out in Virginia. I don't even know where we were at. We were like one of those parts of VA, like right across from Potomac, Maryland, but on the VA side, Great Falls Trail or something. And it was very therapeutic. You ever done that before? You ever
I walk probably 3 times a week. I try to do it every day.
Okay.
Because it helps, like, I get overwhelmed a lot because I deal with a lot. So it helps. Like, even when I find myself getting frustrated or having a moment when I'm in grief, I go walking. Like, I have a trail and it's just woods. So you just hear the nature, you hear the birds, the water just flowing. Mm-hmm. So I just walk. And I walk for about 30 to 45 minutes. And it's so helpful. By the time I finish my walk, the way I felt when I walked, it's not the way I felt when I get back.
Definitely. Nah, I feel you on that. Because that was the first time I had done it. I think that getting out in nature is a great way to, like, kind of get a little bit of relief mentally. Just another tip for those out there that's watching. And good trail.
Yeah.
That's what I don't have where I live. I need to be off somewhere closer to some woods or something. A lot of good information in here. I'm not going to spend too much time reading up on it. Another important one though that I've heard from other people through letters and journal entries. When they talk about the tree that I was mentioning, after that you're supposed to journal how you feel and things like that. And I know writing a lot of that stuff down can help too. Like we got that poetry program where a lot of them write poetry and they get it out that way. I've seen it literally change people's whole attitudes about things. So, and if it's not poetry, whether it be music or just writing, I know that's a big thing. You ever wrote anything down?
Yeah, I have a journal.
Yeah.
So I have a journal that's for wives who lost their husband.
Okay.
So I have that journal. I use a journal on my phone. So when I'm
Yeah.
traveling, people be like, "Oh, why you travel a lot?" But it's weird because I say when I'm in the air, I feel closer to my husband.
Oh, okay.
So I use my phone. There's like a journal on my phone. So every time I just write how I feel. Like I talk to him about my day. I talk to him about tell him the problems I'm having, how just everything.
Yeah.
Like I just express myself as if he was here. I know I don't get a response, but it's like I'm getting it all out. Like I have one of my journals is full, so I had to use my phone.
Wow.
Because I always, in any situation I get in, I just write. And then once I write it, I always think about what his response would be.
Right.
So that helped me a lot.
Okay.
Like a whole lot. Because it's stuff that you may not want to tell people. You can put it in your journal.
For sure. That's amazing. So it sounds like you're using a lot of great tools to help get you through.
Yeah.
So I guess the big question is healing in itself. Where do you think you're at on that level? Because you have a lot of things, obviously, to factor into your journey. The biggest one being the children, right?
Yeah.
I understand that 100%. Like, where do you feel like you're at in your healing process? And do you feel like you'll reach a point where, the sun is back out again in your life? Are you starting to see it? What do you think?
I'm not where I was at the beginning. But I can say that I'm doing better. Like I can say that the sun is peaking. Like the sun is peaking because I've learned how to live through it.
Yeah.
Like basically live through it, let go some stuff that you don't have to hold on to. So it's just learning to let go. Again, learning different techniques, being in different groups. Like it helps you to have a release so it's not a build up.
Right.
No more. So I'm learning it. Like I'm learning a new way of life. Like it's a journey, but with my kids, they're very helpful. Like having 4 boys, it's a struggle sometimes, but I make sure that my kids are happy. Like I make sure that they still playing sports. Like whatever they want to do, I'm here for. But I also make sure that my kids heal too, because sometimes we get so caught up in our grief that we forget that our kids grieve. So my kids was in therapy. They had outside therapy and inside therapy during that school. And I allowed them to have their therapy. And some sessions I didn't go into because I wanted them to have the space where they could be vulnerable and have that moment where they can, have somebody to talk to and just be completely honest. So, and I also with my kids, we also have sit downs. We do sit downs at my house. Yeah. And I tell my sons, it's okay to cry. If boys don't cry, you
That's
kill.
so good. I'm glad you're teaching them that.
Yeah. I always say if boys don't cry, you kill. So it's okay to express your emotions. It's okay to cry. It's okay to have bad days. I just teach them how to get through their bad days. Teach them what to do. Like my 7-year-old, he plays sports. He plays football, and he misses dad dearly. But he also has a journal himself.
Really?
He keep everywhere he go. He has a book and a pad that he writes in. He draw.
Now, did he request that, or you just gave him?
No, he just
taught him that.
No, he just did it on his own.
Okay.
He just used the book. Like one day, he had a book he always drew in the wrote in.
Yeah.
So one day we was leaving out, and he was like, "Mommy, I want my book." I'm like, "Boy, whatever. Leave that book in the house." But he was so emotional about this book. I'm like, "No, I got to get this book because this book means something more to him than what I know." So I started allowing him to bring the book. I talked to him about, what you writing, what you doing. And he really expresses, anybody can tell you, Bryce expresses himself through this, through the book. Because he's 7, but he understands. Yeah. He understands death. He understands the whole road. He understands a lot. And then he go through a lot because he in sports. In sports, it's a bunch of dads. So he see all these, I'm sorry.
I understand. Take
So
your time.
it's
Take your
like
time.
he see all these dads, and it's like, where my dad? So
Well,
I
listen.
allow him to have that moment. Like I allow him to express himself. My 3-year-old don't have a clue. Like he was 2. He asks for BJ every day. Every day. Like it's not a day. It don't go by that my son no ex for his dad. And it's like no matter how much I tell him, he still don't understand. Like he's 3, so he don't understand. If he see an airplane that go by, he always say, "That's BJ right there. That's BJ right there. Come on, we go with BJ." I'm like, "That's not BJ because that's the last memory we have of his dad because we went on vacation 2 weeks before he was killed. So that's what he remembers. So
Wow.
yeah, it
That's
can
deep. And
it can get hard, but I I do it, and I know my husband. He know who he married, so he know
definitely do.
that I'm a big dog. I got it.
You do
Like
got it.
I got it.
And I know BJ, I know for a fact, as calculated as that man was, like you were 100% the right one for him. That's why y'all have children together. He knew you could withstand the test. And I know he knew, the realities of being a black man in DC and what that meant.
Yeah.
We've had them conversations ourselves and talked about life after death, and those are definitely realities. So for him to have decided after everything he was, as big of a big dog he was, to marry a woman like yourself, it speaks volumes. And I think you're doing a great job. Like I said, I remember talking to Bryce a couple weeks ago. I know he has his moments, but just full of joy, full of
Yeah.
life. Like, and he's gonna be a great support to his younger brother.
Yeah.
You got to think because that's how BJ was. It'd be times I'd be grieving deaths, and a person like BJ be the one to pick me up. You know, so I know that's passed off. That's in the gene pool. That survival, that recovery, and that pushing through is gonna happen. I promise it's gonna happen. And again, I just salute you for staying strong, because I've watched so many people fall off. Like, these things happen, these tragedies happen, right? And then they go off the deep end, and sometimes they never come back up. We've seen a lot of that.
Yeah.
You see a lot of people go from this, and that. Something happened, 2, 3 things happen. The next thing you know, they on the other side of the street, strung out on something or losing everything and just letting it get the best of them, taking it out on everybody. And again, that's why I brought you here today, because I know it may be hard to share those things, but that strength and that resilience and that perseverance is amazing. And I wanted to be able to share that with the people, because you're a great example of what that looks like. So I know it's hard, and I appreciate you diving into that for us. And I know the kids are a tricky topic, and I wanted you to speak on that. I'm glad you did, because that's another thing I'm sure a lot of the parents see. You deal with the death, but how is it affecting the kids? You know, and I know,
And I think that's another thing. Like a lot of people forget about the kids. Like we forget that. Because I'm gonna say we, because at the time I did too. We forget that kids grieve. It's not a lot of resources out here for kids. For kids, it's not a lot of, like how we have healing groups and stuff. It's not a lot of that for kids. So when these kids become teenagers, or they already teenagers and they become men, everything they went through is just stuck up in them. So it becomes violence. It becomes a different action. It becomes all the wrong stuff but the right stuff, because people forgot about them, and they never had a chance to have a voice. They never had a chance to have a voice, to speak out, to even get that help to express themselves. So all those emotions become just violence.
Turn into violence.
It turn into violence. Like I tell people every day, and they say, "How do you do it?" I say, I forgave those people who killed my husband that night. That night on that scene, I forgave them, because I know that somewhere deep down in that something went wrong. They faced some type of trauma and didn't have the proper resources. They didn't have the love. And because I have the love at my home, I'm able to stand and forgive them and do that.
Right.
It's just, I don't know.
Nah, it makes perfect sense. And you know, that's I've even experienced challenges with myself and even gathering up some of them younger guys. Like I know a lot of them, but a lot of them are hesitant to speak. I think when we're older, we're a little more emotionally intelligent, so we know like I kind of got to do this. Whereas I'm still, even on my own level, like drawing up ways to do things that are appealing to them that can ultimately help them with their trauma. Because I know a lot of them, like, you just know what's going on in the neighborhood. You know, this guy might have watched his best friend get killed 2 days ago. And now he already back at school and walking back through the jungle trying to survive. And it's a lot of trauma involved with that. It's so many layers of the onion we could sit and peel. But you're right though. I think we definitely gotta. I think them speaking and getting some of that stuff.
Yeah,
out
I
of their
actually
chest.
had an idea. Maybe I'll give it to you because you know I don't
You
use
can
my
partner.
ideas.
Yeah, for sure.
That I think you should do like even I'll help you do like an open mic. So an open mic for the youth, maybe like 17 and under.
Yeah.
Have an open mic for the youth, even if they want to come and like just express themselves, or if they want to like make songs about trauma, you just tell them like, you know, if you like just hit them out, no matter what it is, it's giving them a chance to be heard. Sometimes, you know, you got to offer them like, bring them in, maybe hey, we giving out
It's gonna be
food,
some
like
incentive.
something that you know, make them come and want to be heard. But
For sure.
it gives them an opportunity, and it have to be a safe space for them. Like it have to be somewhere where they feel comfortable. Where it has to be a community thing,
Right.
and it can't be like each community need to have give something for the youth, because those youth feel safe in their own environment. They feel safe around their own people. So now they're around people that they be with every day, and we get a chance to hear them, even if it's through music, through letters, however they need to be heard. We're giving them that chance to be heard without being judged.
Yeah, we had an idea that we actually working on an upcoming project. Basically, when I was in San Diego, I lived in San Diego for 6 months. There was this, I think it was called like 7 billion others or 7 billion faces. And they basically asked people certain questions from all over the world. Like the camera was in front of them. It might be a guy in Bangladesh, a person in Canada, a person in Nigeria. And they all asked them the same question, right? And they would just open up, right? And I wanted to do something similar with the youth here because they love the cameras, they like the social media, all that's like a part of their culture. So they're not gonna mind maybe getting on there and expressing. So I did have an idea like that, but I would love to add some of what you just said, incorporate some of that into that program. I'll definitely touch bases with you on that because I think that's a great idea. They don't have a voice, and the open mics, the studios. Even sometimes I feel like when the music, and this is controversial, like sometimes it be violent, but it's a form of expression.
But it gives them the opportunity to express themselves.
Exactly.
That's why you give them a non-judgment zone, because that's how they express themselves. That might not even been what they've been through particular. That can be what's going around them. And that's just how they put it in their music, because we tend to adapt to our environment.
Exactly.
So it's like they're still being heard.
Yeah, they're being heard. So those are all things that I definitely hope that we can get going this year. And there are initiatives in place to start those things, but I would definitely love to continue that conversation offline, so we could, just like the place thing when you and Kia brought that up. I thought that was a great idea. We're definitely open to any type of suggestion to help progress our youth, young adults, and adults.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna make that happen. I think it's gonna be a great thing when it's done, and give them some perspective.
Yeah.
Because like you said that to your son. You said when you don't cry, you said you kill. Yeah. I believe that. I believe when people bottle up emotions, and that's where it comes from. One of the places it comes from. But I definitely appreciate you coming on today. Means a lot. I know it's hard, but I know you're a great person, and I know you're the type of person that's probably comforting others right now. They probably going through things, and you the one they calling with everything you got going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that's happening because I know you.
That's how That's how I be, but
Yeah.
that's what keep me going.
Yeah, that's what keeps you
Like
going.
it keeps me going.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's amazing. So we appreciate you sharing everything you share. Cause like I said, you never know who's watching, never know who could help. And I read this book. I got you a copy of the book. So,
Thank
you
you.
know, just something you could take a look at.
Yeah, no,
And
I'll read it.
read when you get some time. There's some great
Thank you.
techniques and exercises in here, and just some good perspectives, you know, that might help you on your journey. I got my own things I deal with internally and externally, so I've read it and I think it's been great. So something for you.
Yeah, I
And,
think it's a good title, like break the cycle. It's like we
Yeah.
gotta break the cycle. Where do it start?
Exactly.
Like who's gonna be the one to break the cycle? So
You're right, and you're one of those
It's
people
good.
that is. And I feel like even with your own children, I feel like they're gonna grow up, they're gonna be successful, they're gonna be good. You know what I'm saying? Even with everything you've been through, you're proof that you can still break the cycle. Because I know
Definitely
our
can.
generation, how we came up. You know, we are the first generation really that's owning certain properties and living the way we live in. And I feel like your kids are gonna grow off that momentum and do great things. So I
Thank you.
appreciate you, and I appreciate your journey and you telling your story. If anybody's interested in these healing circles that we have, that Markia is a part of, and a lot of other great community members, you can hit us up on our website or our Instagram. And yeah, we're going to continue to heal and continue to push forward. I look forward to working with you over the next year and everybody else that's out there. So
But thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Like you probably don't know how much but I really like appreciate you. I appreciate everything you do. Like I really do appreciate it.
thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Well, Markia, that's Trauma Talk TV for today, the Trauma Talk podcast, Project Purpose. Again, if you want to register for any of our events or need just a space to talk, you have an idea, if you want to reach out to anybody that you've seen or like to connect with, feel free to hit us up. If not, I'll see y'all on the next one, y'all. It's Presto.